All right, guys. So today we're going to be reviewing. We're going to be listening to Robert Greene's book, "The Laws of Human Nature," chapter. I forget what chapter it is. It's chapter 6, no, chapter 7, and it's how to develop a flexible mind, right? How to how to have more of an open mind, right? So this is actually very interesting because this would, oops, this would teach you how to essentially like be less stubborn, how to develop new habits. It's truly fascinating. So we're gonna be listening to it, and I'm gonna be giving you guys my take and chime in. So let's begin.
When people resist your good ideas out of sheer stubbornness, but you are largely unaware of how the same problem, your own stubbornness, afflicts you and limits your creative powers.
So he was essentially talking about previously to this about people's resistance, right? People's stubbornness and how to influence people. Now he's reversing it on you, which is he's saying that as you are aware that people are stubborn with the things that you want, you're also stubborn with your own self. You also yourself cannot stop doing certain things. So you might get mad at the stubbornness of people, but the real stubborn one is you at the end of the day.
As children, our minds were remarkably flexible. We could learn at a rate that far surpasses our adult capacities. We can attribute much of the source of this power to our feelings of weakness and vulnerability. Sensing our inferiority in relation to those older than us, we felt highly motivated to learn. We were also genuinely curious and hungry for new information. We were open to the influence of parents, peers, and teachers. In adolescence, many of us had the experience of falling under the sway of a great.
And that's the thing is, as children, that's how we normally are as children. Naturally, we're more open to new ideas, and the goal for us is to blend in the child openness with the discipline of the adults.
Book or writer. We became entranced by the novel ideas in the book, and because we were so open to influence, these early encounters with exciting ideas sank deeply into our minds and became part of our own thought processes, affecting us decades after we absorbed them. Such influences enriched our mental landscape, and in fact our intelligence depends on the ability to absorb the lessons and ideas of those who are older and wiser.
And that's the truth, right? Is that real? A smart person learns from other people's mistake. A dumb person learns from their own mistakes, right? Like the ultimate form of wisdom is premature wisdom, learning from other people's mistakes and making sure you don't avoid them, right? And so, yeah, but yeah, man, that's very fascinating because, yeah,
Just as the body tightens with age, however, so does the mind.
and that happens with me, right? Like if you watch my channel, if I'm not consistently reading and learning from my mistakes, you'll notice that my material would become stale, right? Whenever you think you know enough, whenever you think you are what you are and that you already made it, your mind is gonna stop. Your mind is gonna stop circulating new thoughts. You're gonna stop being creative, right? Whenever you have this sense of superiority, like I know my subject, I don't need to learn anything more. You're on your way to decay. Whenever you think you know everything, whenever you think that what you know is enough to get you by, you're pretty much signing your own creative death warrant, right? What you got to do is consistently find a way to feel weak. Consistently find a way to feel like you're behind. Consistently find a way to feel that everyone else is better than you and you need to work harder. Right? Because as soon as you feel that you're better than everyone else, you're gonna stop working as hard. And somebody younger and better will take your place.
And just as our sense of weakness and vulnerability motivated the desire to learn, so does our creeping sense of superiority slowly close us off to new ideas and influences.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some may advocate that we all become more skeptical in the modern world, but in fact, a far greater danger comes from the increasing closing of the mind that afflicts us as individuals as we get older, and seems to be afflicting our culture in general. Let us define the ideal state of the mind as one that retains the flexibility of youth along with the reasoning powers of the adult.
Mm-hmm.
Such a mind is open to the influence of others, and just as you use...
It's just like me, man. Like me, I watch other dating coaches, right? I learn from other dating coaches. I give them credit. When it's other people don't do that, I do that. Like, I'll hit up a dating coach if I need advice. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, even if you're at the top of your game, you have to be humble enough to learn from other people. Your enemies do not want you to learn from them. Your competition does not want you to learn from them. You know, what you got to do is be shameless when it comes to that. You got to be shameless when it comes to with your craft and learn from other people.
Strategies to melt people's resistance. You must do the same on yourself, working to soften up your rigid mental patterns. To reach such an ideal, we must first adopt the key tenet of the Socratic philosophy.
And that isn't that what being like older people, older individuals for the most part, they have their own set of ways of thinking that they're not gonna budge. You see what I'm saying? Older people have like a way of thinking that they're not gonna budge, right? What you want to do is be aware of that, because as you grow older, your mind will stiffen up. Your philosophies and ways of looking at the world will stiffen up, and you gotta become aware of that and find strategies to loosen them up, because what's going to happen is that as you grow older, new ideas and a new culture will be around you, and without you noticing it, you're going to become almost like a relic, like a museum piece of the past, right? Your ideas will be old. Like it's kind of like you're not going to notice, but everyone else is going to notice.
One of Socrates' earliest admirers was a young man named Chaerephon. Frustrated that more Athenians did not revere Socrates as he himself did, Chaerephon visited the Oracle of Delphi and posed a question. Is there a wiser man than Socrates in all of Athens? The Oracle answered no. Chaerephon felt vindicated in his admiration of Socrates and rushed to tell his mentor the good news. Socrates, however, being a humble man, was...
By the way, if you guys enjoy my videos, but you guys want more new edited videos, because these channels, we post older videos, check out my new channel, Mindful Attraction For Real. We have highly edited videos, longer form, and we're only planning to post once a week, right? We're also going to be having a studio there too. So if you guys enjoy high quality Alex, we're going deeper into the topic, and to help with the algorithm, check out the channel by clicking on the description down below, or in the comment section, it's pinned. See you guys inside.
Not at all pleased to hear this, and was determined to prove the oracle wrong. He visited many people, each eminent in their own field, politics, the arts, business, and asked them many questions. When they kept to knowledge of their field, they seemed quite intelligent. But then they would expatiate on all kinds of subjects about which they clearly knew nothing. On such subjects, they merely spouted the conventional wisdom. They did not think through any of these ideas. Finally, Socrates had to admit that the oracle was indeed accurate. He was wiser than all the others because he was aware of his own ignorance.
Yeah, because if you think you know everything, if you try to act like you know everything, you're pretty much playing up to people. You're not really being genuine. You're not really a curious person. You're somebody who thinks they know it all, and you have already lost. Once you think you know it all, you're already lost. You're already lost. You're already in decay. So it's kind of like think of it as an athlete. Once an athlete starts practicing, once an athlete just starts practicing to maintain what he has rather than to improve upon it, that athlete has already lost. So it's kind of like even with creative people. That's why if you just started coming into a new field, the advantage that you have above people who've been in it for years is your open mind. You know, that's what a 5-year-old or 10-year-old has over a 40-year-old who's been painting for 20 years, is that child has an open mind. And so that open mind is going to enable that kid to learn a lot faster. That child wants to fit in. That child wants to impress their master, so they're going to work harder. That child is going to sense how much he needs to learn. So he's naturally going to learn at a faster rate, right? So a big part of learning, like you said earlier, is feeling that sense of inferiority to those around you, feeling that you're the one that knows less, because then that puts you in a position where you learn from everybody.
Over and over again, he examined and re-examined his own ideas, seeing inadequacies and infantile emotions lodged within them. His motto in life had become, "The unexamined life is not worth living."
And that's why you should always be questioning your ideas of reality. Always be looking for higher things. Always be asking yourself, maybe I'm wrong consistently. You know what I'm saying? Always be looking at your ideas from your enemy's perspective. Always looking at yourself from your enemy's perspective. Looking at who you are from the perspective of those people who truly hate you. And also looking at yourself from the perspective of people who truly love you. And those people who are indifferent to you. You want to have this flexible, almost ironic view of you, who you are, and your ideas. You know,
The charm of Socrates, what made him so devilishly fascinating to the youth of Athens, was the supreme openness of his mind. In essence, Socrates assumed the weaker, vulnerable position of the ignorant child, always asking questions. Think of it this way. We like to scoff at the superstitious and irrational ideas that most people held in the 17th century. Imagine how those of the 25th century will scoff at ours. Our knowledge of the world is limited despite the advances of science. Our ideas are conditioned by the prejudices instilled in us by our parents, by our culture, and by the historical period we live in. They are further limited by the increasing rigidity of the mind. A bit more humility about what we know would make us all more curious and interested in a wider range of ideas. When it comes to the ideas and opinions you hold, see them as toys or building blocks that you are playing with. Some you will keep, others you will knock down.
and that is a big part why people don't progress, why creativity is stunted, because you do begin to develop this view of what something should be. You know, basketball should be played this way. Art should look this way. Like me, like I have a bias towards abstract art. I have a bias towards modern art, right? And clearly, like a part of me feels like he's 100% right, but then clearly there's a reason, the soul of the thing. There's something that modern art is right that I don't understand. And so my mind is closing me off from that reality, right? What I got to do is ask myself, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe there's a point, maybe there's a reason why maybe there's something there that I don't see that could improve my art. As much as conviction I feel that it is bullshit, asking myself that question will allow me to learn faster, will allow me to find the truth eventually. You see what I'm saying? That's the goal of it. You know, you could be wrong now, and that's okay, but you got to be willing to be wrong, as willing as you are to be right, because that's how creativity will continue to flow.
But your spirit remains flexible and playful. To take this further, you can adopt a strategy promulgated by Friedrich Nietzsche. He who really wants to get to know something new, be it a person, an event, a book, does well to entertain it with all possible love and to avert his eyes quickly from everything in it he finds inimical, repellent, false. Indeed, to banish it from mind. So that, for example, he allows the author of a book the longest start and then, like one
By the way, I'm actually okay.
watching a race, desires with beating heart that he may reach his goal. For with this procedure one penetrates to the heart of the new thing, to the point that actually moves it. And precisely this is what is meant by getting to know it. If one has gone this far, reason can afterwards make its reservations. That overestimation, that temporary suspension of the critical pendulum, was only an artifice.
He's like, what a crazy, right? Isn't that crazy? Like the way he just words that. Like, listen to that again. It's crazy.
Reason can afterwards make its reservations. That overestimation, that temporary suspension of the critical pendulum.
Temporary suspension of that critical pendulum. What the fuck? Like, that guy, he's such a crazy writer, man. All right, if you guys enjoyed that video, you guys are going to like my new course. It's called The Commitment Blueprint. It's a course that I created for women who who are struggling with finding themselves in situationships, finding themselves with men who like them but don't want to commit, finding themselves with giving too much and not getting much in return. And the beauty about getting commitment is that it has nothing to do with, about your looks and more to do about your strategy. Like I've seen women apply these strategies and get married and have kids and have long lasting relationships. Why? Because the strategies that I'm going to teach on this course is based on pure psychology. I've been working on this for the past 2 years. For the past 2 years. And I've every time I make a promise on my courses, if you guys have gotten my courses, you guys know I over deliver, right? And the reason why I made this course is because a lot of ladies watch my videos, and unfortunately, you guys give too much. You guys love too hard, and that attracts the wrong energy. So it's really about learning how to manage this energy. You're gonna attract different types of guys by learning how to control that energy, right? And if you don't believe me, well, guess what? You can find all of these reviews of women who have taken my courses and have achieved the promises in my courses. And look, the beauty about it is that you can pre-order this course for $75 rather than $99. And when the course comes out and you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. I'll give you your money back if you don't like it, and you have 30 days to get your money back. But I'm telling you, I guarantee that if you do exactly what the score says, you will find commitment. And above all, you're gonna stop wasting your time with the wrong guys. Because at the end of the day, to find the right guy, it's all about filtering the wrong guys. Eventually, the right guys will filter through. If you just apply what the course says, it'll break the negative pattern of being attracted to guys that are not into commitment. I'm telling you, there's a reason why you attract guys who are not committed. It's because there's a pattern and you're not aware of it. And sometimes you need someone like Father Alex to show you these patterns and in order to break it. Like I've seen it many times before. Okay. So just pre-order it right now on the description down below. I like to think this is going to be my best course I've ever done in my life. I have that feeling, especially with all the research that I've done, you're gonna get results, guaranteed, or your money back. Anyways, take care.